I've had atheists stand at microphones in front of hundreds of people on college campuses. I ask them that question and they say no. And I go, no? How's that reasonable? How's that rational? It's not. The problem isn't here, the problem's here. They don't.
What's the one question the Christian should always ask the atheist during a debate to figure out whether they're sincerely seeking truth? Here, Frank Turk of Cross-Examine gives his thoughts. Check it out.
Most of the time, evidence isn't the issue for people. They don't want Christianity to be true because they don't want to give up their autonomy to a God who is in control. They want to be God. They want to be God over their own lives. So sometimes just asking the question can help clear the decks of any objections and not only help you understand where the person is coming from, but it can help them understand when they have to admit that they're really not in it to discover what is true. They want to believe what they want to believe. And so I think this is a very important video to wake people up. Always ask the question, if Christianity were true, would you become a Christian? If the person hesitates or says no, evidence isn't their problem. They are their problem.
Would you agree with that? Have you ever asked that question? And if so, what response did you get from the non-believer? I love the graphic.
The one question I ask people who are not Christians is this: if Christianity were true, would you become a Christian? I've had atheists stand at microphones in front of hundreds of people on college campuses. I ask them that question: if Christianity were true, would you become a Christian? And they say no. And I go, no? How's that reasonable? How's that rational? It's not. The problem isn't here, the problem's here. They don't want it to be true.
They don't want there to be a God. Why? Because they want to be God. They want to be God of their own lives.
They have a moral objection to God. In fact, one famous atheist, Thomas Nagel, said, I have a cosmic authority problem. I don't want there to be a God.
See, most of us, we're not on a truth quest, we're on a happiness quest. And we're just going to believe whatever we think is going to make us happy. Here's the problem. You can make yourself happy over the short term, doing a lot of fun, but ultimately destructive things. Yet over the long term, it's a disaster. And
man, he ain't lying there. And I can definitely attest to that.
Everyone watching this video who's over 40 knows what I'm talking about because most of us have tried it. The only way to get true contentment and happiness is to go straight through truth. And Jesus is the truth. So, ask the question, if Christianity were true, would you become a Christian? If the person says yes, then get them some evidence. If they hesitate or say no, the problem isn't here, the problem's here. Just stay in their lives, pray for them, and love them, and maybe there'll be an opportunity in the future.
Man, I thought that was so good and so profound at the same time, because I've heard in so many different books I've read or articles I've read or videos I've watched where the professing atheist, when asked that question, some say, yeah, sure, I'd follow Christianity if it were true. But I've heard probably just as many times, many make the claim that no, they wouldn't, because they don't like the God of the Bible, or they really don't have any full justification for it. They just don't like it. As this one atheist said, professor in the video, when it's all said and done, he just doesn't like the idea of a God existing. He wants to be the God of his own life. He wants to live life on his own terms, and he ultimately doesn't want to be held accountable. Yet at the same time, he wants to live in a world that's based and founded off of biblical principles, order, justice, truth. But ultimately thinking in eternity, you can't have it both ways. It's one or the other. And if you appreciate content like this, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And before you go, check out this video right here. I think you'll find it very, very informative.